So I will explain you yesterday's topics as well, then we'll continue today's topics. So yesterday we covered overall 4 topics, I think. First concept is oops. Oops, what we mentioned. Oop is a programming paradigm or a methodology. So it's a just an approach, it's an existing approach. So we are going to follow that approach. So OOPS concept means object oriented programming system. So similarly, we have different kinds of procedures. For example, functional paradigm, and already we are following object. So different we have. I think yesterday I shown you, right. So object oriented, functional, procedural. But we are following object oriented. So now clear, right? Everyone clear, right? Oops is nothing but one of the methodology. Clear, right? Up to this point, clear, right? It's a methodology, just an approach. We are going to follow that approach. Then what we are going to learn, what is this methodology, what is the oops concepts. So what is oops concept means object oriented programming system or structure. So the abbreviation of this oops object oriented programming system. So here why we called it as a object means here we are going to work with the real-time objects. For example, yesterday I given you 4 classes here, correct? So these all are called it as a object. Student is an object. It's really exists, right? Then mobile is an object. Employee is an object. Then product is an object. So objects only, right? It's a really existing one. Do you agree with me or not? These all are objects only, right? You will not agree with me then. So then next one here, what we discussed. So oops have 6 main topics. Correct? Yeah. 6 main concepts. Otherwise, topics or concepts. What we define here, first one is the class. Second one, object and method I defined. Third one, what is third one we discussed? Inheritance. Next, we have abstraction. Next, we have polymorphism, encapsulation. Clear, right? What is object oriented programming means? So here it is a one of the programming paradigm or methodology, that approach we are going to follow. Inside this oops we have 6 main concepts. First one is the class, second one is the object, third one is inheritance, fourth one abstraction, fifth one polymorphism, and sixth one encapsulation. These four we not yet covered. Correct, right? So these are the pillars of the OOPS concepts. Then class is nothing but it's an instance of the object. So here, for example, yesterday we created a vehicle and a vehicle test, one class we created, right? For example, you can take here as an example. This is one class, test vehicle name. So here, what we mentioned, it's an instance of the object. So how to create a object? By using the class name and a reference name, by and then assignment operator, new keyword. So this new keyword will create the object. And finally, this is the constructor initialization. So here we will, after new keyword, we will call the constructor initialization. So today we will discuss this topic, so don't worry. Vehicle equal to new vehicle. This is called object. So this is one instance. So class contains an instance on object. And also another point what we mentioned, it's a blueprint or a template. So here we mentioned, for example, this object have name, vehicle. So these many fields it is have. So these many properties this object have. So we define like one template. So this properties have and this method have those things. So it's a look like one template. And then what we covered, method. So why we need a method? Method is a behavior of the object. As we discussed yesterday, method is an behavior of the object. So this vehicle have some behavior. So it will move, it will stop, it will have some behaviors. So what are the behaviors we used here? So all the whatever functionalities it's have, those all consider as a behaviors. Then method, it what we explained as a definition, method is a block of code. It perform specific task. So here also we need to discuss types of methods. So method with return type, with parameters, without parameters. So this is one method. This is also one method. Here this block of code, while calling this method, it will execute this block of code. So here what is the work it is doing? It is initializing these values. Correct, right? We are assigning these values. So these inputs are coming from the another class. So in the test class, we given these inputs. Correct, right? Here we are calling that method and we provided the inputs. Then these values are assigning to these instance variables. So these all are class level we are defining, right? Instance variable. Inside the method level we define means that is local variable. Clear, right? This PPT already whoever referred this, they can able to understand. Don't worry, this is like a one methodology. We are going to follow that methodology. So if we learn those concepts means automatically we can understand these OOPS concepts. So we are starting only now. Once we covered all the topic, then you can able to understand very clearly why it's very important. Also, you can able to understand. So just think one example here. So you are using Amazon website, right? Amazon or Flipkart to buy the products. Once you are using that website, how the products are showing, how those price. So lot of descriptions it's have, right? Its properties, those things. How it is showing. So they created one product class, then product name. So all the properties they are defining. So input how they will add. So some of the products they will upload. Whoever have that merchants, they will upload their products. So so that will take care by who, Amazon will take care. Who is adding those products, those things. Correct, right? So here all the data they will provide. Then we are not going to edit the data. So just we are reading the data. After searching, we are reading the data. Whatever we want, we are selecting and then we are buying. So all those things how they developed by using this concepts only. Slowly you can understand everything. So 6 main concepts. Then class is an collection of objects. It's not a real world entity. Not a really exist. Inside the class we have many categories, right? If yesterday we saw the example animals. So animals have different kinds of animals, right? Dog, cat, snakes, like that. Different kinds of animals we have. Then we mentioned it doesn't occupy the memory. For this also, I given one example. So just you have the category. So you are in some houses, you have dogs and cats, right? Once you got those cats and dogs, so if you are feeding them, then only the dogs or cats with you. Then only it will occupy some space in your home. Otherwise, if you are not adopting them, it will not occupy, right? So method. So advantages of method, we can reuse the code and optimization. We can optimize the code and also readability also. It will be looks good for readability purpose also. And it's a syntax we discussed. So access modifier, return type, method name, list of parameters. Admitted. So access modifier here void is a no return. So with return also we will see the examples. Don't worry. And then this one parameters, a list of parameters. Inside the method body where we return our logic. So here just we are assigning this value to this instance variable. So different things we will have. So we can add the numbers. So based on the requirement, that logic will change. And then next object. Object is a real world entity. It really exists. It will occupy the memory. It's an instance of class. Object mainly consists name should be unique and state and behavior. So how many ways we can create an object? 5 ways. By new keyword, by new instance method, by clone method, by deserialization, by factory method. But mostly we will use by new keyword. In interview point of view, this question is important. You have to explain these 5 methods to him. Any questions? Sir? And then it's clear, right? Imran, Muhammad Imran. I think we have to appreciate him. He is joining every day first, but remaining I don't know why. So that 3 concepts are clear, right? Class, object, methods. So we are going to work with those things only again. Don't worry. So these are the important concepts. So mainly entire Java or real time also we have to focus, we have to work in this way only. Then we will start today's topic. So constructor we mentioned. So the name itself, so we are building something. So general meaning of the construction, we are going to build something. So here also what we are building, we are initializing that objects. So we are assigning the values. Something happened. So we are initializing the object. So what is constructor means? Constructor is a block of code similar to the method. This is also similar, but it doesn't have any return type. It's look like a method only. It doesn't have any return type. Why it is not have any return type, I will tell you later. While practically, I will explain, right? That time I will tell you. And how we can define the constructor means, this is the, we have to follow must and should. This rule we have to follow. Constructor name should be same as a class name. So if you change the name, it won't. So we cannot call it as a constructor. So the constructor should be same as the class name. And also we can create these four types of constructors: public constructor, private constructor, protected, default. Here what is public means, so you created one project right here. Java training is the project. Inside this project, if you have any public class, we can access wherever we want, in this package also, in this package also. So inside this whole project, so the scope will be applicable within a project. Public means, then if the access modifier we use it like a private means, the scope will be within a class only, so it will not able to access outside the class. For example, this class I created right here, the object, and I am calling the methods. Correct. This vehicle I created, and I am reusing that class methods. But if this class is a private means, you can see here. Illegal modifier for the vehicle, only public abstract, final or permitted. So why? Because already we have here public methods, those things. For example, I will create one new class here. New class. Just I am giving test. This one I am making private. Hmm. These keywords I am not explained, right? So here it is telling mostly it will not applicable like that, but a private method we can create and then private constructor we can create. So these things I will explain you, but as of now we are discussing scope. Scope means private means within a class only. For example, this method I have, I change it to private. Now you can see this class got a error. So the method apply brakes from type vehicle is not visible. So you can see here the scope is within a class only. Now I will change to default, another access modifier. So if you are not providing anything, that is the default one. Now you can see no issue. Default, the scope of the default is within a package. If I am creating this vehicle is a public class only, right? So in somewhere I will create here a new class test vehicle. I'm using main method. Then I am creating one object here to call the vehicle methods or vehicle instance variables. How to create a object? Class name vehicle. So you can see it's showing here automatically. It is showing for me vehicle. So it is belongs to which package? Oops package equal to here reference name first, then equal to new keyword, then constructor. Now I am going to call that method control V dot apply breaks, right? I changed it. So see, I am not getting clear, right? Here apply breaks is the default method. So this class also available within a same package. Then I can able to have the visibility for this. Now you can see the error here. The method apply breaks from the type vehicle is not visible. So the scope is not here. If I change to public means it will applicable whole project. Now you see no issue. So here you have to remember all these scopes. Public within a whole project, private within a class only, protected default it is similar only. This is within a package. This is also within a package. The difference is we are extending classes. So that is the next concept in inheritance. I will show that one. One class is extending with other class. That time the accessibility is there. So first basic rule is for protected within a package if that class is extending in any other subclasses, so child classes, that time also it will have the visibility. So that I will show you tomorrow. Tomorrow is the inheritance topic. As of now you can remember these things. Public is a within a whole project, private is a within a class only, protected within a package and its subclasses as well. Default within a package only. Then as we mentioned, it doesn't have any return type. Constructor doesn't have any return type. So constructor, how we created for yesterday also. So yesterday we not created only methods. I will show you today how we can create constructor. And the main purpose of the constructor is to initialize the object. Initializing means we are assigning value to the instance variables. Clear, right? Yesterday we discussed this one, initialization. And one more point we missed here. Constructor executes automatically when we create an object. So if you are creating an object, automatically constructor will invoke. So this is the constructor I mentioned, right? So this is the constructor. So if you are creating new object, automatically we have to call the constructor. Otherwise, we cannot create an object. But here one more point you have to remember. Constructor will not create a object. This new keyword will create a object. Once this new keyword used means it will invoke some memory. So inside the JVM, it will use some memory. If you are not creating by using new keyword, it will not invoke that memory. So it will not use that space. Every time you are creating one new object in JVM, it will consume some memory. So first we'll cover the theory, then we can see the practical things. So constructor is used to initialize an object. And the next one, we have different types of constructors. Default constructor, no arc constructor, parametric constructor. So default constructor, no arc constructors are look like similar. The only difference is default constructor will provide by automatically will provide by the compiler. This one JVM will take care. We no need to define. No arc constructor and parametric constructors are user defining constructors. We have to define our own constructors. So programmers will define the constructor. That is, we can call it as a user defined constructors. So constructors, we have two categories. One is user defined and another one is a compiler will provide. Then we have three types of constructors: default constructor, no argument constructor, parametric constructor. So first we will see up to here practically, and then we can check. So here new class called, I will create one student. So this is the class, right? Now what I will do here, I will create one constructor. How to create a constructor means, so access modifier, syntax for the constructor, then same class name. Here we don't have any return type. This is called constructor. This constructor will have public, private, protected, default. Already you know the scope. What is the public, private, protected, and a default. So this is called the constructor. This is a user defined constructor. I am defining this constructor. If I am not defining this constructor, by default JVM will provide. So that one compiler will take care. And also we have to remember one more point here. Here we are not extending any class. So if we are extending, this is the inheritance concept. If we are extending any class, that class methods we can reuse here. That is, we will discuss tomorrow. If we are not extending any class here, by defaultly JVM will extend the object is the parent class. So we have one class called in Java that is already predefined class. So object class. By defaultly for all classes, whatever you are creating, it will JVM will extend by defaultly this object class. You can see here. So this is the object class. So we not return this one. This is providing by Java. So this is the constructor here, and it will have some methods, hash code, equals method, clone method, toString method, notify, notify all. So there's so many types of methods are there. But this is the important interview question also. What is the parent class in Java? Parent class is object class. Can explain? Object class is the parent class. Again tomorrow we will discuss that one. As of now, no issue. So this is the constructor, and I told you, right, we have three types of constructor. So default constructor and no argument constructor look like a similar only. So if we are providing the constructor manually, this is called a no argument constructor. If we are not providing any constructor, so JVM will provide a default constructor, right? How it is providing means by extending that object class, automatically that constructor it will provide. So if we are not providing this one, then by defaultly we have one constructor. That is the JVM provided one. Compiler will take care of that one. Now argument constructor. So we yesterday we passed it, right? Argument in a methods, list of parameters, like that only. For example, here we have, right? So I given some variables here: student ID, student name, marks. We will create student ID. I will take here int ID and string name, then int marks. Now I am passing this arguments here: int ID, string name, then int marks. So this is called a parametric constructor. So default constructor, no arc constructor, parametric constructor. This constructor we can call it as a parametric constructor. So the rule for creating constructor, it should be same as a class name. Otherwise, we cannot call it as a constructor. We cannot create also. For example, I am changing here some name. See, it is considering as a method. Return type is missing. So you have to provide void or what is you are going to return. That one also you have to provide. And also we will cover this and super as well. Then everything we will see the practical examples. But as of now, I shown you how to create a constructor and what are the types of constructors we have. Default constructor, no argument constructor, parametric constructor. Default constructor, JVM will provide. I will show you that example. And next one, this keyword. So here, this keyword, it is refers to the current object. So here, this is called one object, right? Student is called a one object. So this will refer this object related properties. For example, here, yesterday I created, right? Name equal to, here this n, I am assigning the value n equal to, name equal to this n, vehicle type equal to this t, model equal to m, c equal to color, like that I mentioned, right? So if we have the same name, for example, now we have the same names, means here id, name, marks, this time if you are directly assigned, means this one what will happen: id equal to id, name equal to name, marks equal to marks. Now we can see here it is providing some warning. This is the warning symbol. The assignment to variable, it had no effect. So here this is don't know. Actually, our purpose should be we have to initialize by using this variables, this class level instance variables. So this parameters we have to initialize with the help of these parameters. We have to initialize the instance variable. This time you have the same names, correct? Here also parameters also have the same name. Here also you have the same name. Then how the compiler will know you are assigning to this variable itself? It don't know, right? That time we have to use this keyword. Now you can see here. So this is belongs to current object. So whatever the student object we have, it will represent these properties or this method, like that. Now if you see, no warning. So if you just click the control button and you can put the mouse here, you can click. So it will select this one. For example, you can check this one. So it will select this one. Now correct, right? Whatever the parameters we provided here, we are assigning to this instance variable. Now this will work. So if you have different names means that time no issue. But mostly constructors we will create like this. So we have one shortcut also to create a constructor. Right click, source, generate a constructor using fields. Here you see constructor was created. Now we discussed about this keyword. Why we are using to refer the current class objects. So definition also you can see here. This refers the current object. So already use case also we discussed it. Differentiate between class attribute and method parameters within a same name. If we have the same names means it will differentiate. And also second use case, we can call the another constructor from the same class using this keyword. I will show you how we can call the constructor. Then we can discuss this super keyword. What is this super keyword? For example, I have another constructor. So I can define number of constructors. That is not a problem. But the rule should be, it should be, class name should be the same. So this constructor is the no arg constructor. This is the argument constructor. Correct? So here we are going to check how we can reuse the reusability of the constructor. For example, ID I can auto generate. I no need to provide the input for ID. That time I have only two parameters, int name and marks. Then this dot name equal to name. Next one, this dot marks equal to marks. So here we have one constructor, here also we have one constructor. But here you can see here ID only have the extra one. So I can reuse this constructor instead of this here. So I will pass the same parameters here. Just what I will do here is this of this name, comma, above I will provide. Now you can see already we have this constructor, right? Then how it will initialize these values? Once you are providing name, it will call this constructor. That is the second point here. Yeah, this is the second point. Call another constructor from the same class. సో ఈ కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ని మనం కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ ఎందుకు యూస్ చేస్తున్నాం? ఇనిషియలైజ్ ద వాల్యూస్. సో ఇక్కడ క్లాస్ లెవెల్లో ఉండే వేరియబుల్స్ని మనం ఇనిషియలైజ్ చేస్తున్నాం. అలా అది ఎలా ఇనిషియలైజ్ చేస్తాం? ఇంకో మెయిన్ మెథడ్లో ఈ కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ని కాల్ చేసి వాల్యూస్ అనేది ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తాం. అది చూద్దాం, నెక్స్ట్ చూద్దాం. సో ఇది వచ్చి రీయూజింగ్ ఆఫ్ ద కన్స్ట్రక్టర్. సేమ్ క్లాస్లో టూ కన్స్ట్రక్టర్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఇక్కడ 3 పారామీటర్స్, ఇక్కడ 2 పారామీటర్స్. ఈ 2 పారామీటర్స్ ఉండే కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ని రీయూజ్ చేస్తున్నాం. Then our next topic is super keyword. సో దిస్ కీవర్డ్ అనేది కరెంట్ క్లాస్ యొక్క ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ని రెఫర్ చేస్తుంది. సూపర్ కీవర్డ్ అనేది పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ యొక్క ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ని రెఫర్ చేస్తుంది. సో ఇక్కడ మనం ఏ క్లాస్ ఎక్స్టెండ్ చేయలేదు. ఏ క్లాస్ ఎక్స్టెండ్ చేయకపోతే బై డిఫాల్ట్ జేవిఎం అనేది ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్లాస్ ని ఎక్స్టెండ్ చేసుకుంటుంది. సో అప్పుడు అక్కడ ఉండే కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ ని అది ఇన్వోక్ చేస్తుంది. సో అది ప్రాక్టికల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూపిస్తాను, మీకు అర్థమవుతుంది. The main difference with this and super is this belongs to current class object, super belongs to parent class. That is the main difference. So use cases: calls the superclass constructor from the subclass, access the superclass methods or fields that are overridden or hidden. ఈ టూ పర్పస్. సో దిస్ యొక్క టూ పర్పస్ వచ్చి కరెంట్ క్లాస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ని రెఫర్ చేస్తుంది, ప్లస్ రీయూస్ చేస్తుంది, కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ ని రీయూస్ చేసుకుంటుంది. సూపర్ క్లాస్ కూడా పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ యొక్క కన్స్ట్రక్టర్స్ ని కాల్ చేస్తుంది, అలాగే మెథడ్స్ ని కాల్ చేస్తుంది, ఫీల్డ్స్ ని కూడా కాల్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. Now we'll see the practical examples here. So I am going to create one new test class. Student test class name is student test. I need a main method because main method is the entry point of our execution of the program. So how to create a object here? Can anyone tell me? Object. Can I call by names otherwise? Manoj. Manoj, are you there?
Yes.
How to create a object? Student object I have to create. Already I defined one student class, right?
Yes.
For this class, how can I create an object? Object creation. So here how we created object? This highlighting line. Similarly we have to create. Now you can tell me how to create a object. No?
No.
Same only, right? Student. So class name, yesterday we discussed, right? Syntax for the object here not provided. I think here we discussed object of syntax, class name, then reference name we can provide whatever equal to new keyword, then class name, this parenthesis. This is, we can call it as a constructor.
Student one.
Okay, student reference name we can change, that is not a problem.
Equal
Next.
to equal to new student.
New. So this
Student.
new, once we provided new, some memory it will allocate, JVM will allocate some memory for that object.
Okay.
New
Student again.
student. Here you can see, I told you, right? Once we create a object, constructor will initialize. So here we have only parametric constructors. This class have only parametric constructors. So these are these two types of constructors you have. You can see here I am getting this 2 params constructor and 3 params constructor, and I am not able to get the default constructor. So here, if you don't have any constructor means that time JVM will provide the default constructor. Now you can see I will get no argument constructor. This one is providing by JVM. I am not providing. For example, I am defining the no arg constructor means then it will use that constructor. It will not call that JVM constructor. So if you don't have any constructor, that time JVM will provide automatically. If you have the constructors, that time it will use your existing constructors. So initially we have parametric constructors. I commented those things. Then I don't have any constructor in the class. That time JVM is providing for us default constructor. So this is the difference between default constructor and no arg constructor. No arg constructor is the user defined. So I defined this one. But if I don't have this one, now the constructor is defined by provided by JVM. That is the difference. Clear, right? The difference between default constructor, no arg constructor, and parametric constructors. Now what we will do here, just I will print a student object. Student I am printing. This time what it will print, output will be. You can see here it will print like a, so some hash code. So this is the our package oops dot student our class name, some hash code it is printing. This one, this line you can see. Student student run as a, see this is only right, it is printing. This one it is printing some hash code information. So if you want what is the value available for this, we have to override one method called toString method. How to create a toString method means right click source generate a toString. Now you can see here this method already we saw. This is from the object class. When open this method, just you can click open declaration. So here it won't show. You can go with the object class. So here you can see previously also we saw toString method somewhere. So these all are the methods. This is the constructor get class hash code. This belongs to all are the object methods. So we are reusing here this method toString method. We are reusing instead of creating our own. We are reusing by overriding that method. So now we can check what it will print. Run as a Java application. Now you can see here what is this constructor is doing. It is initializing this default values. So inside the student, we have 3 parameters, right? ID, name, marks. One day, I think while discussing the data types, I mentioned the default value of the int is 0, string is null. I told you, right? I will show you. So here, this one, you are not providing any value for this. The default will be 0. So once you call this default constructor, it will initialize with the default values. So the purpose of the constructor is to initialize the object. So student object, it is initializing with the default value. If you have the values, then it will take that values. So the toString method purpose is without this method, how the object look like, it's looking like one hash code. So you cannot see what is the proper value. So why we are using this toString method? To know the what is the exact value is there for that particular attributes or fields or properties. Now exact values we have default values 0, null, 0. So clear, right? This concept, constructor concept, why we need constructor to initialize the object. Purpose of the constructor to initialize the object. Now we will see with the parameters. We will provide our own values. So it is possible. We can create a n number of constructors in a same class. If you don't have the default constructor, you don't have any constructor, that time JVM will provide by default. If you have the constructors, then it will reuse. So now this constructor will be this one. Previously, just you click here. So it is showing class itself. By default, this class extend that object that is providing. Now we will enable this constructors. Now I will provide the values. So this is for a default constructor. This will call this one. Here nothing is there, right? It just initialize with the default values. Next, I will call second constructor. So here I am creating student. How to create a object? Student 1 equal to new student. So same reference name again you cannot use. It will tell already this object exists. So inside, once you are creating new object, right? So by using this reference name, it will create a memory in the JVM. So then only it will throw. Already you have this object. Why again you are using same name? Duplicate. So if you change this name means, then it will create a new object inside the JVM. Now I will call which one parametric constructor. So just you can see here, I have this one. First I will check this one. Int id I given 1, and then any name, and then marks sys out student 1. Now just I will give some meaningful message here. Student object 1. So first student. So they will enter, right? Your, for example, you are going to join into a new college or somewhere. That time they will get your details. They will enter in your system, right? Run as. Now you can see this is the default constructor. Now I initialize it with values, right? That values it is printing. So this keyword constructor, everything clear, right? I will give you this one. Generally, this toString method should be bottom of the class. Can maintain here bottom of the class. Okay. Control C. Now I will show you the examples on super keyword. So as of now we saw default constructor, no argument constructor, parametric constructor. And this one also I will give you that examples also. Wait. Just student reference name student2 equal to new. So two argument constructor. This is the two argument constructor. Now you see here name I have to provide, right? So marks, then print that one. Student 2 run as a Java application. So here you can see it is not printing. Why it is not printing? We not provided any value for this. So you can see here student, we can call this constructor, but already we have three parameters, right? So just this message also we can give. So it is initialized with the default value. Run as a Java application. So I will give you this one. You can also practice this. Next, I will explain you the super keyword example, how that methods are calling. So toString method is used to return a string representation of an object. String representation means అది previous గా ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఒక hash code లాగా some randomly generated code ప్రింట్ చేస్తా ఉంది. ఈ మెథడ్ ని ఓవర్ రైట్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఎగ్జాక్ట్ గా వాల్యూ ఏముందో అది ప్రింట్ చేసింది. సో యూస్ కేస్ వచ్చి యూజ్ ఆఫ్ స్ట్రింగ్ readable output instead of printing memory reference, like it helps to print the meaningful information. So it is defined in the object class. Object class లో ఉంది. వన్స్ మీరు క్రియేట్ చేస్తే ఆటోమేటిక్ గా అది ఓవర్ రైడ్ అవుద్ది ఆ మెథడ్ అనేది. రైట్ క్లిక్ ఎలా క్రియేట్ చేసాం టు స్ట్రింగ్ మెథడ్, రైట్ క్లిక్ సోర్స్ జనరేట్ టు స్ట్రింగ్. గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి ఈ అప్రోచ్. రైట్ క్లిక్ సోర్స్ జనరేట్ టు స్ట్రింగ్. నెక్స్ట్ సూపర్ కీవర్డ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూద్దాం. దిస్ కీవర్డ్ అర్థమైంది కదా, కరెంట్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ని రెఫర్ చేస్తుంది. సో సేమ్ నేమ్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు మీరు డైరెక్ట్ గా నేమ్ ఈక్వల్ టు నేమ్ అంటే అది ఇన్వాలిడ్. సో నేమ్తోనే నేమ్ని అలైన్ చేస్తున్నట్టు. బట్ మనం క్లాస్ లెవెల్ వేరియబుల్స్ ని వాల్యూ అనేది అలైన్ చేయాలి. అప్పుడు దిస్ కీవర్డ్ అనేది యూజ్ చేసాం. నెక్స్ట్ ఒకటి న్యూ క్లాస్ నేను క్రియేట్ చేస్తాను. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ అని ఇస్తున్నా. నేమ్ పేరెంట్ క్లాస్. జస్ట్ సూపర్ కీవర్డ్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయడానికి చెప్తున్నాను ఈ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. పేరెంట్ క్లాస్లో ఒక కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాను నేను. ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తానంటే సిస్అవుట్ ప్రింట్ చేస్తాను. మీకు అర్థం అవ్వాలి కదా ఏ కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ కాల్ అవుతుందని. సిస్అవుట్ ఇక్కడ మెసేజ్ వచ్చి ఐ ఆమ్ ఫ్రమ్ పేరెంట్. సో ఐ ఆమ్ ఫ్రమ్ పేరెంట్ అనేది ప్రొవైడ్ చేశాను. ఇప్పుడు నేనేం చేస్తానంటే ఇంకో చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ కూడా క్రియేట్ చేస్తాను. న్యూ క్లాస్ నేమ్ వచ్చి చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ అని ఇస్తున్నాను. ఇక్కడ నేనేం చేస్తానంటే పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ని ఎక్స్టెండ్స్ చేస్తాను. ఇది టుమారో డీప్గా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను ఎక్స్టెండ్స్ అంటే ఏంది అదంతా. సో ఇక్కడ పేరెంట్ క్లాస్, సో పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ని ఎక్స్టెండ్ చేశాను. ఇప్పుడు ఎక్స్టెండ్ చేసి చైల్డ్ క్లాస్కి ఒక కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తానంటే ఒక సిస్అవుట్ మెసేజ్ ప్రింట్ చేస్తాను. ఐ ఆమ్ ఫ్రమ్ చైల్డ్ క్లాస్. ఇప్పుడు మనం దీన్ని టెస్ట్ చేయాలంటే మెయిన్ మెథడ్ కావాలి నాకు. మెయిన్ మెథడ్ ఒక్క నిమిషం. I am back. So we are discussing constructors with a super keyword. సో చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఎలా క్రియేట్ చేయాలి నేను? చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్. హలో, కాల్లో ఉన్నారా లేరా? ఉంటే ఆన్సర్ చేయొచ్చు కదా. టఫ్ క్వశ్చన్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేయడం. ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అనేది క్రియేట్ చేశాను కదా. ఇప్పుడు జస్ట్ దీన్ని ప్రింట్ చేస్తున్నాను చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ అని. రన్ యాజ్ ఎ జావా అప్లికేషన్. ఇప్పుడు చూడండి ఇక్కడ మనం ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఎక్స్టెండ్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఎక్స్టెండ్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు అది ప్రింట్ అయింది. ఒకవేళ ఇది లేకపోతే రన్ యాజ్ ఎ జావా అప్లికేషన్. సో ఓన్లీ ఇది ప్రింట్ అయింది, ప్లస్ ఇది హాష్ కోడ్ అనేది ప్రింట్ అయింది. ఈ ఫస్ట్ ఈ మెసేజ్ అనేది ప్రింట్ అయింది, తర్వాత హ్యాష్ కోడ్. మనం 2 స్ట్రింగ్ మెథడ్ని ఓవర్ రైట్ చేయలేదు కాబట్టి. ఇప్పుడు నేనేం చేస్తానంటే దాన్ని ఎక్స్టెండ్ చేస్తాను. సో ఇక్కడ సూపర్ అనేది ఉంది కదా, సూపర్ కీవర్డ్. సో ఈ సూపర్ కీవర్డ్ అనేది జస్ట్ ఇప్పుడు చూడండి ఇక్కడ సజెషన్ అనేది ఇచ్చేసింది పేరెంట్ క్లాస్. సో ఆల్రెడీ మనం ఎక్స్టెండ్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఎక్స్టెండ్ చేసినాం కాబట్టి బై డిఫాల్ట్ అనేది ప్రొవైడ్ అయిపోయింది. రన్ యాజ్ జావా అప్లికేషన్. సో ఇది అర్థమైంది కదా. ఈ క్లాస్ యొక్క కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ బై యూజింగ్ సూపర్ కీవర్డ్తో కాల్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఇంకో యూస్ కేస్ వచ్చి 2 యూస్ కేస్ అన్నాను కదా సూపర్ కీవర్డ్స్తో. కాల్ ద సూపర్ క్లాస్ కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ ఫ్రమ్ సబ్ క్లాస్. సో సూపర్ క్లాస్ అనేది నేను ఇక్కడ పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ అని క్రియేట్ చేశాను, సబ్ క్లాస్ అనేది చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ అని క్రియేట్ చేశాను. నెక్స్ట్ యాక్సెస్ సూపర్ క్లాస్ మెథడ్స్ ఆర్ ఫీల్డ్స్. సో ఇక్కడ నేనేం చేస్తానంటే ఒక మెథడ్ అనేది క్రియేట్ చేస్తాను ఇక్కడ. హౌ టు క్రియేట్ ఏ మెథడ్? యాక్సెస్ మాడిఫైయర్ పబ్లిక్ వాయిడ్, జస్ట్ మెథడ్ నేమ్ వచ్చి షో. సో యాక్సెస్ మాడిఫైయర్ రిటర్న్ టైప్ షో sys out I am from parent method. I am from parent method. సో ఇక్కడ ఇంకో మెథడ్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాను నేను సేమ్ నేమ్తో. మీరు చెప్తారా నేను కాపీ చేయకుండా? మెథడ్ నేమ్ ఎవరైనా సేమ్ మెథడే, ఇప్పుడు క్రియేట్ చేసిన మెథడే క్రియేట్ చేయాలా? మెథడ్ పబ్లిక్ వాయిడ్ షో. సో మెథడ్ నేమ్ అనేది షో అని ఇచ్చాను. సిస్టమ్ డాట్ అవుట్ డాట్ println హియర్ I am from చైల్డ్ క్లాస్. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఆ మెథడ్ని ఎలా కాల్ చేయాలా? చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ మెథడ్ని ఆల్రెడీ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అనేది క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నాను ఇక్కడ. ఆ మెథడ్ని కాల్ చేయాలంటే ఎలా చేయాలి నేను? మెథడ్ కాల్ మెథడ్ని షో మెథడ్ అని క్రియేట్ చేశాను కదా, ఇప్పుడు దాన్ని ఎలా కాల్ చేయాలి నేను? ఇమ్రాన్ షోయబ్ ఉమర్ అని ఉన్నారా ఎవరైనా? ఉమర్ జాయిన్ అయ్యారా కాల్లో? సో మెథడ్ ఎలా కాల్ చేస్తామంటే చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ బై యూజింగ్ దిస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ రెఫరెన్స్ నేమ్ డాట్ బై యూజింగ్ డాట్ ఆపరేటర్. సో మనం క్రియేట్ చేసిన మెథడ్ షో. సో ఇప్పుడు ప్రింట్ చేద్దాం, ఏది ప్రింట్ అవుతుందో చూద్దాం. రన్ యాజ్. సో ఇక్కడ మెథడ్ అని ఇస్తాను, కన్ఫ్యూజ్ లేకుండా వస్తుంది మీకు. మెథడ్ రన్ యాజ్ జావా అప్లికేషన్. సో కన్స్ట్రక్టర్స్ది కూడా ఇన్వోక్ అవుతుంది, దీన్ని కామెంట్ చేస్తాను యాజ్ ఆఫ్ నో. రన్ యాజ్ జావా అప్లికేషన్. సో ఇక్కడ ఐఎమ్ ఫ్రమ్ పేరెంట్ అనేది కాల్ అయింది. సో ఎవ్రీ టైం ఇక్కడ కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ అనేది ఇన్వోక్ అయింది కదా, సో ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఇది అనేది కాల్ అవుతుంది. సో పేరెంట్ అనేది కూడా కాల్ అవుతుంది, ఎందుకంటే ఎక్స్టెండ్ చేస్తున్నాం ప్లస్ సూపర్ కీవర్డ్ కూడా యూస్ చేస్తున్నాం. దెన్ ఇది చైల్డ్. సో ఇక్కడ సేమ్ క్లాస్ నేమ్తో సేమ్ సేమ్ మెథడ్ నేమ్ అనేది ఇక్కడ కూడా నేను క్రియేట్ చేశాను. అప్పుడు నేను ఈ మెథడ్ని కాల్ చేయాలంటే అప్పుడు ఎలా చేయాలా? హ్మ్? సో ఇక్కడ అనేది సూపర్ డాట్ షో. సో మనం డెఫినేషన్ అనేది డిస్కస్ చేసాం కదా. సో పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ మెథడ్ని కాల్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఇక్కడ మన పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ వచ్చి ఇదే క్లాస్ నేమ్ పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ అని ఇచ్చాను. సో సూపర్ డాట్ షో. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అనేది క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నాం. దెన్ నేను ఈ షో మెథడ్ కాల్ చేస్తే ఫస్ట్ పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ మెథడ్ని కాల్ చేస్తుంది, దాని తర్వాత ఈ మెథడ్లో ఏముంటే అది ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుంది. రన్ యాజ్ జావా అప్లికేషన్. సో ఇక్కడ చూడండి, ఇప్పుడు పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ ఐఎమ్ ఫ్రమ్ పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ మెథడ్, ఐఎమ్ ఫ్రమ్ చైల్డ్ క్లాస్. క్లియర్ రైట్ ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్స్? ఇవన్నీ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి. క్లియర్, అర్థమైందా? సో టుడే ఏమేమి కవర్ చేసాం మనం? కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ అండ్ టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ కన్స్ట్రక్టర్, దిస్ కీవర్డ్, సూపర్ కీవర్డ్, అండ్ టు స్ట్రింగ్ మెథడ్, అండ్ వచ్చి యాక్సెస్ మాడిఫైయర్స్. ఎందుకు యాక్సెస్ మాడిఫైయర్స్ యూస్ చేస్తున్నాం. సో ఈ టాపిక్స్ అన్ని చూసుకోండి. టుమారో మీట్ అవుదాం.